Hello, Mrs. Smith. I'm Karen Shipman, the CEO of the Susquehanna Cyber Charter School. My secretary told me that you're interested in enrolling your son into SUSQ.
Hello, Miss Shipman. Yes, thank you for taking the time to meet with me to answer some of my questions about cyber charter schools. My son is struggling in the traditional brick-and-mortar school setting, and we were wondering if cyber charter school would be a beneficial alternative for him.
I would be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have, Mrs. Smith. Where would you like to begin?
What would you say are some of the pros and cons of a cyber charter school?
I would have to say that the flexibility is a major positive. We are also very often the last hope of a diploma for many students, and we speak to the idea of school choice. However, a major negative would be that some students try to use cyber charter school as a hideout, and we can have truancy issues. We are strongly against this, and we have taken extreme measures to hold students accountable.
Okay, but what are the requirements to get into your school, and what reasoning do parents have for sending their children there?
The only requirements that we have at Susquehanna Cyber Charter School are that the students are Pennsylvania residents, regardless of where they live in Pennsylvania. The reason a family chooses a cyber school can vary greatly, but very often we receive students with medical problems, students who struggle with bullying, students who wish to accelerate their learning experiences, parenting teenagers, and students who have dropped out of school and wish to return to earn their diploma.
I see. What percentage of your students have disabilities, if any at all?
Currently, about 17% of our students have disabilities, which is comparable to the state average. We have had as many as 28% of our students with disabilities, and on the other spectrum, there are times when we've had none.
This is so interesting. But, is there ever any face-to-face instruction or interaction between students and parents with their teachers?
We use a system called Illuminate. It is very user-friendly and allows quick communication between students and teachers. There's also a feature similar to Skype so that students and teachers can communicate on a more personal level. Teachers also have the option to hold live classes when needed.
What is required of your teaching staff, and what is their job like?
Our teachers are at the office from 8 until 3:30, Monday through Friday. They teach approximately 4 to 6 classes a year, and are even assigned a homeroom. At this point, they are still receiving the same benefits as a teacher in a traditional public school in Pennsylvania. I should also mention that all of my teachers are Pennsylvania certified.
That is very impressive. How do you assess your students? Do you use differentiated instruction or other teaching techniques?
We are held to the same standards as a traditional school as far as assessment. Our students are also required to take the PSS standardized tests, and just like a public school, the scores affect our funding. The teaching strategies are at the discretion of the teacher, but as students can work at their own pace, within reason of course, we embrace that aspect of differentiated instruction.
Would you like to see any changes made to your cyber charter school, or do you have any plans to increase your PSS scores?
I would very much like to see an increased change in our graduation rate. Also, just like any other school in Pennsylvania, we would like to see an improvement in our standardized test scores. We are very open to change and evolving. Our goal is to be the best that we can be, so we are constantly reevaluating to see how we can improve for our students' sake.
Speaking of students, what is the workload like for a student? Will I have to buy my son a computer if we pursue this avenue of education?
As I said earlier, students work at their own pace. However, an approximation that we have come to is that a student should be completing about 5.5 hours of work within a 24-hour period. Also, anything that a student needs to be successful in a cyber charter school, we the school are responsible for providing the materials. We obviously provide the computer, but we can even provide a printer, ink and computer paper, to promote the success of the student.
What a wonderful surprise!
Yes, of course. Do you have any other questions for me, Mrs. Smith?
No, Miss Shipman, you have answered all of my questions. I think that my son will have great success with your cyber charter school. I am so appreciative that you have taken this time to speak with me.
It has been my pleasure, Mrs. Smith. Enjoy your day, and feel free to email me or call me with any other questions or concerns you may have. It was so nice to meet you, and I look forward to meeting your son.
Goodbye.